So where are all my first time breastfeeding mamas? Because I got tips for you, mama. I got tips for you. But this is just all based on my breastfeeding experience, and I just want to share it with you on what I've learned. So as a mother of two, I have two different breastfeeding experiences, and I learned from both of them because they're both so different. The first one, I only breastfed for maybe like 3 months or so because I got mastitis, which I'll explain later on in the video what it is, but I got it and it sucked, and it just kind of like turned me off of breastfeeding, which, you know, I shouldn't have. Like, I was just being weak. But yeah, the second time around I told myself, you know what, I'm gonna breastfeed. I'm gonna try to breastfeed for a year. I'm gonna try. And I did, actually. Like, I actually stuck to my word and I breastfed for a year. So I had two different experiences, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. So I got tips for you guys based on those two experiences. What's up, everybody? It's Ray Lux. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. And so for the best law of attraction, motherhood, lifestyle videos, go ahead and click that subscribe button, that like button, and that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. And again, I'm not forcing you to, but it would be greatly appreciated. So the first thing to know when you're breastfeeding, your milk doesn't come in right away. Like, just be aware of that. I think it comes in maybe like, it can come in like 24 to like 48 hours after. Like, once you give birth, like, your milk doesn't just come in, you know, it takes a little bit, and you will feel it. I'm warning you, like, you will feel it. Like, it's called being engorged, and that's when the milk starts to fill up. And I remember it happening maybe like once I was discharged from the hospital, so about like 2 days after. The first like few days, like, they will have you, you know, breastfeed, but only like that colostrum, like the very clear liquid will come out. But the day when you get engorged, you will feel it. Like, I don't even know how to explain the sensation, but you feel it getting filled up, and it is just like hard as rock. And so just be aware of that it doesn't just come in right when the baby is born. Like, it takes a little bit of time. So just don't freak out that the milk isn't there, but just be aware that you are going to feel it when it does come in, you know. So just be prepared. It may be kind of sore because it's just like, just think of your boobs as like a water balloon, and it can't pop. So like, just the pressure, you know. So once you feel that, start pumping or breastfeeding, you know. Be sure once that milk comes in to breastfeed regularly, because your body responds to how much you're releasing, you know. So it's like, your body is so stinking smart. It is amazing. So the more that you release out, the more it fills up, because it's, you know, supply and demand, you know. Naturally, your body just knows these things. So whenever you breastfeed, your body is replenishing that. So once you kind of slow down, then your body kind of gets like the signal, like, okay, we're slowing down, we don't need to produce as much, we're slowing down. But if you want to continue the breastfeeding for a longer period of time, you have to make sure you're going regularly, so your body knows to produce it regularly. So, but like, say you have to go back to work, just make sure you bring the pump with you. Set a timer, so you know, or I mean, you will feel the fullness coming, and then that's how you know when to pump. But just always make sure that you are either like breastfeeding or pumping regularly. And the first month or so, the baby will wake you up to remind you, oh yeah, the baby's gonna remind you to breastfeed. So at least, you know, the first like few months, the baby will cry, wake up, then you'll feed them. So there might be times where you may get like a clogged duct, and like, you'll be able to feel it. It's like a hard lump, and that's just like where it, like, circulation, like the milk circulation could have been cut off, so it got clogged. So when that happens, before it gets worse, make sure, like, once you feel that clogged duct, you know, like, pump and push it out. Like, just work it as much as you can, like with like a hot compress, and just like push it out. Sometimes it'll take a really long time. For me, like, there were times when it could take maybe like an hour until finally, like, you know, you'll feel it like soften up, and then have it get unclogged. So make sure once you see it to work it out, because once it's clogged, or if it gets too clogged and it's not released in time, you could get what is called mastitis, and that is no fun. So you want to get that clogged duct out before it gets any worse. Or you could, you know, when you're trying to get the clogged duct out, you could breastfeed and, you know, massage it out at the same time. So either way, breastfeeding or pumping, get that clogged duct out. So always have extra breast pads on you. Like, it sounds kind of silly, but if you're out, you don't want to be leaking milk, you know, or like if the other one gets too full, make sure you have those pads with you. It's like when you have your period, you need your extra pads, you need your breast milk pads, you know, so always make sure you got that on handy. So my next tip is for people who have the clogged duct, but it gets worse and escalates to mastitis, because I've experienced that. So how do you know you have mastitis is when that clogged area starts to get red. Like, you'll see it starts to get red on the top, kind of hot, and you feel sick. Like, you feel like you have the flu, you have like a fever, and you just feel kind of weak. Go to the doctor immediately so he can prescribe you medicine to kill the infection. But it is safe to breastfeed. They still recommend you to breastfeed, you know, to get that milk out. It's not going to affect the baby at all. So, but it's something that it sucks, because I've had it multiple times, and that's what stopped me from breastfeeding the first time. Like, once I got it, it sucked that I just didn't want to do it. But the second time I got it, I pushed through. I still breastfed, and it goes away within like a day or two. It just literally feels like a flu with like a little bit sore spot right on top of your boob. But yeah, so once you feel like that, go to the doctor, because you want to, because it's an infection. You want to get that you know, infection out of your body. So make sure you have a good bra. Like, this sounds silly, but get a breastfeeding bra. Get a bra made for women who are breastfeeding, because what happened to me was I used regular bras sometimes, and they're not made the same. Like, regular bras aren't meant for breastfeeding, so like, I guess it was harder, and it was like constricting the milk flow, so it was clogging my ducts. So I made sure, once I realized that, I made sure I just wore strictly breastfeeding bras, because it's softer and it has like little like clasps right there. You just like flip open and bam, you can just breastfeed right there. It's just so much easier. So when you're breastfeeding, just strictly wear the breastfeeding bras, because the clogged ducts aren't worth it, and it's a struggle trying to like take off regular bra when you're trying to breastfeed. You know what I'm saying? Let's just make it easy on us, you know? So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope those tips help you as new breastfeeding mamas, because breast milk is the best milk. I don't know if that's what they say, but I feel like it was fitting. But don't forget to check out my Instagram, where you'll find daily inspo, and check out my blog where you can read if you're more of a reader, all my lifestyle stuff. And don't forget to check out my other videos on motherhood. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later.